Hello everyone, and welcome back. On the back of my previous video talking about kratom, I'm now going to talk about marijuana. And, there's been a lot of talk in the past about the fact that marijuana has medicinal purposes. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. This article, and I'll put a link to it in the description for the video, says marijuana doesn't ease anxiety or other mental health conditions. That should put the cat amongst the pigeons. Using medical or recreational marijuana to ease symptoms of numerous mental health conditions doesn't work, according to two new analyses of existing gold standard research. We found no evidence in any form of cannabis that any form of cannabis is effective in treating anxiety, depression, or post-traumatic stress disorder, which are three of the leading reasons for which cannabis is prescribed. This is the cannabis medications being administered in these studies were largely oral formulations such as capsules, sprays, or oils. In real life, people typically use smoked cannabis, and there's even less evidence of its effectiveness for mental health. Using marijuana also did not improve other mental health conditions, such as anorexia nervosa, bipolar disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD, or psychotic disorders such as schizophrenia. Wow. These two papers clearly show there isn't any evidence to recommend the use of cannabis or cannabis derivatives to treat mental health. Yet almost every state in the US approves medical marijuana for mental health conditions. Despite a lack of proof of efficacy, doctors continue to prescribe medical marijuana to treat mental health conditions. Regular use of potent marijuana can be dangerous, experts say, especially to the most vulnerable. Heavy use of marijuana by teens and young adults with mood disorders such as depression and bipolar disorder is linked to an increased risk of self-harm, suicide attempts, and death. Yeah, look, I've been waxing poetic about this for quite a while now, okay? And I told you that the two things that really caused a massive shift in the kinds of cases we get from really primary, substance use, alcohol use, to primary mental illness was one, the lockdown because of coronavirus. And the second, and probably the more lasting effect, has been the legalization of marijuana here in Florida. We've seen such an uptick in marijuana-related psychosis cases. It's just unbelievable. And I know it's not limited to just Florida. It's limited to lots of other states, because I think about 40 of the states now have legalized marijuana in one, way or another. And they're all having problems. And it is what it is. I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are. Please keep your thoughts respectful. I've been, somewhat dragged through the mud on this, which is fine. You don't have to agree with me. I've been called party pooper, and, I'm trying to limit everybody's, right to be free and all that other, silly stuff. If that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel. But in my universe, where we speak to mums and dads from all over the country, and they have an adult child who's really experiencing a serious mental health issue because of this stuff, you know what I mean? I'm having a problem, having any sympathy that your freedoms are being restricted. Sorry. I'm just not going to get on that train, because where I come from, it's destroying families, and it's just as simple as that. And you can choose to, disagree with me if you want. That's fine. I'm just telling you what we see, having spoken to thousands of families over the years. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts. If there's an issue you're having in your family and I haven't made a video about it, let me know. I'll make you a video, because if it's affecting your family, it's probably affecting somebody else's too. And I want to make sure that you get the information you need. If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want more of this content that I make for you so you can get the information you need, subscribe to the channel. And with that, I appreciate you tuning in. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.